Everyone, welcome to the final part of this rather long planner page. We're going to finish all the little details and then I'm going to do something with the background. I've got a few ideas, we'll see how it pans out. So to start with, let's come in closer. Let's just work from the bottom up, I think. Why not? Now we have these lights here. I think we should colour them in the same yellow that we've done the windows and things. So I'm going to grab that first. This is the light cadmium yellow and we'll do all this. Had some good news today, so I'm feeling quite jolly, and a gift through the post. So yes, I'm feeling very spoiled. YouTube sent me this. It is a neon YouTube lamp. I haven't got it switched on at the moment. It's I put a picture of it actually on my community page. You may have seen it already quite a while ago. Well, a week ago, I guess. So that was rather fun. I mean, some people are going, ugh, it's ugly, but actually, I don't care. It's nice to have something, you know, feel appreciated, which is nice. The bits of metal, I'm thinking I'm going to do sort of metal lamps around, so I'm going to use my cold grey 4, and what I'm going to do is for the bit, let's come in closer so you can see, I need a bit more detail, there we go. So for the bits hanging down, I'm going to put a little bit from the top and then from the bottom and leave a tiny gap in the middle for it to be for a bit of sort of look like it's shiny, and we'll emphasize that more on this bit because it's got a bit more space. So basically on the edge of here a few more layers and then fade it towards the middle, leaving a little light bit, and it just makes it look like it's this sort of shiny metal. It's really basic. I think it's quite effective, and in a very small space there's not really, it's quite difficult to do more layers. You could do, you know, darker greys on the edges and more blacks or things like that, but I think this is effective enough and simple. I do have in my Ko-fi shop a free download chart of how to make silvers, I think, with different brands of pencils, and also how to do metallics with Polychromos, which is what I'm using today. Sorry, I should have said. I'm being a bit excited. I've got another, I'll share my other good news with you in a minute. So if you want to do something a little bit more complex, you could, but with this particular page, because this is so small, I think it's easier just to keep it simple. And I'm going to do a silver looking metallic bucket as well, using exactly the same technique. So for the handle, just a bit more intense there, and I think I'm going to leave it paler right up here where the light would be catching on the top, and then here on the edges a little bit darker compared to the middle, and I just sort of gently fade it like that. Make that bit darker because it's sort of inside, it'll be slightly shady. You might even want to put a little bit more just above that line there. That's the best I can do. Now the bunting, I think I'm wondering whether to do some pale pastely blues. Might work. I'm just thinking about my background. Yeah, I think that'll work. No, it won't. Right, let's change my mind. Let's do them in some of the greens that we've used for the plants. I think I don't really want to introduce new colours, you see. So let's start with the May green. And I'm just going to block colour this. There's not going to be any shading. I'm just going to do every other bit in the May green. So the top bit. Just try and make it fairly intense so you can see it. Yeah, my other good news is that my plumber, who does all our little plumbing jobs, came in to take a look at our disaster of a bathroom. which I mentioned in earlier videos. If you haven't seen them, basically we discovered that our shower tray and radiator have been leaking really badly, and we have a rotten floor with dry rot or wet rot, permanent green olive, or both underneath. And it's also come under the wall from our ensuite into our bedroom, so our bedroom floor is affected. Yes, so we spoke to our plumber, came in, and he basically said he can do the whole job. He can get rid of the old wood, treat it, and put it all back, and then put the shower tray back, replace all the tiles, and just do everything really. And even the ceiling underneath in the hallway, which has been ruined, he can repair that as well. And he said it's not going to be really expensive. He said it's not going to be thousands and thousands of pounds, so that was a relief. Obviously it's still going to cost some money. This is Pompeian red, but and I'm going to do this mat or rug. It's a rug, isn't it? I'm going to sort of do it in stripes, I think. I'm going to see how it works out. So I'm going to do sort of every other bit in this Pompeian red and see whether I can just use 2 colours. It might not quite work out. We'll see. So I can do that one in there. Again, I'm just block colouring it in. I'm not doing anything too special. Yes, so that was a big relief. He can't start work until July. He's booked up, which is fair enough. You would expect that of if you've got a good plumber or workman at all, you would expect them to be busy, you know, so that's fine. The only problem is the smell is so bad that I don't know what to do about it. This is the Venetian red. It's a slightly, I can't get the light, different shade of red, which I'm going to put in the, oh, it's not that different, it's okay. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna actually go into the garage later and see if I can get the dehumidifier in there. I've got the window open at the moment, but I'm wondering whether the dehumidifier might be better at drying it out, and maybe once it's dry it won't stink. I don't know, it might still stink, who knows. There's no other word for it. We've got a little duck here, he's just cute. Now I haven't got any duck colours that we've used already, so I'm just having a little think. Let's do him grey. I'm thinking maybe that's not going to work. I don't know. You choose. I quite like him in white, but I think if I leave him white, you'll think I forgot. So I'm just going to put a few touches of grey on him, like that. And then his beak, I think, does need to be, actually we can use this, the green gold that we used for the sort of twine. That'll work for his beak. There he is. Now we've got these pots, and I'm thinking we could do them in a terracotta, make them look like they're coppery and matching with the and with all our pots, which you can't actually see at the moment. So that's what I'm going to do, is a terracotta. So yes, I'm very happy about that. And the only thing is, while work is going on, which obviously I should have thought about before, but I didn't, it's going to be noisy. And so I won't be able to record any videos during the day. And in the evenings I get tired, really tired. Not, you know, I don't normally record in the evening. This is called grey 4 because I just can't talk. I'm going to use this for the cage and all the bits and bobs. I'm going to do a similar thing with sort of fading it towards the middle here, so it looks like this is a sort of silvery colour. I'll do the same for this hook. Oops. I think I'll leave it there, and about halfway in that little hanging bit. I think this one I'm just going to block in, it's too big. What I'm going to do with the cage is sort of leave it halfway up type thing. Like that, so it's all lined up, so each bar I don't know what it's called, it's got the shine, the sort of inner line. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And this I'm gonna go over lightly and then go around those circles, sort of fade towards the middle a little bit, and then here just fade towards the centre. Looks a bit pink as if I've gone out of the line. Sorry, I've just got to grab my hanky. And the bar that the bird is sitting on, I think we could do in our walnut brown. Whoops, it's knocking my pencils over. Bear with me. There we go. Yeah, the walnut brown for the little perch. Yeah, so I'm gonna. It might mean that I can't always record, and I might get behind and might not be able to produce as many this is raw umber videos as normal. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to sharpen this, is to completely prioritise video making at the moment and try to get at least one video recorded per day for between now and the end of June at least, so that we've got something. Then we've got up here to do. Then I will make sure the planners are done, the planner pages, so those will be being done in advance. I'm just going to fill that in. This is the pompeian red. Did I not say? So, and maybe a shorter morning video because it takes less time, so I can do those, do something for that. And then this evening videos, I'm going to use this grey again just because we've been using grey for the stems. I'm going to leave the dots white, but I don't want it to look like silver, and it's a little bit silvery, so I'm just going to grab the raw umber. I'm going to pop a little bit on top just so it looks a bit more of a browny grey, and then we won't confuse it with the silver that we've done already. I hope that makes sense. Now we have a jar and a bottle. Let's do the cork with the raw umber. That's nice and easy to start with. I know what I'm doing there. I usually do a little bit popping through there. Okay, now what colours have we got on the go? The liquid in the bottle, should I do green? I quite like a green bottle actually. I think I'm going to grab my juniper green and do it like it's a sort of green glass. I rather like that. So it's not quite bottle green, but I'm going to put a darker bit on the edges and then just fade it towards the middle. I'm actually ignoring the bubbles as if we're just seeing them through the glass, like that. And then just let there be a light bit in the middle as if it's sort of shiny. That's a little bit too much. I'm just going to gently colour over that. That's better. It just looked a bit too sort of bright. Now we have our little jar, and I'm thinking maybe I'll do the same for this and use my chrome oxide green for that one. Yeah, so I won't be doing any sort of charts and things for a bit. Put that on hold. But I can do them. This is cold grey fall when the builder's here, workman's here, my plumber. When he's here making a lot of noise, that's a great time to sort of do charts and things like that. So that will work out. Now I'm just looking. It's come out. I think we are done with our detailing. Now we've got to do. I want to do a bit of a background, but as I said in a previous video, it's a little bit complicated by the fact that we've got a border here. So we need to continue that border up and across and then just fill in within the border. Okay, now that's a bit scary for me. I've got a ruler. Now I have got a longer ruler, but I've lost it. No, someone's stolen it. Naughty people. So we're going to sort of think about where the edge of the page is. Yeah, now I'm going to want to erase this after. So I'm just going to sort of draw it vaguely up here, really lightly. You probably can't see the line. I hope you can't, because that means it's light enough. And up here now, this roof actually overlaps. Now this is about, sorry, you can't properly see. It's about 1.7 centimetres from the bottom of the page. So I'm thinking, what distance is that? That's about there. So on about there from the top. Is that straight? Tricky. So I'm going to go across the top there, and I'm going to join these up. I'm going to hope that I can erase it after. Bit of an experiment. Okay, now we're going to do the sky. It's come out a little bit, you can see it, there we go. Now you can't, I'm hoping you can't see my pencil lines. You could see what I was doing. I was just gently drawing up. I'm going to do the sky in some soft pastels and keep it within my pencil line, and then erase my pencil line, and hopefully it will make sense. Now, if I'm struggling, if you struggle to keep in the pencil line, put your ruler against it, and then when you do your pastel is going over the ruler, you take your ruler away, you've blocked out that bit. You could also use a piece of paper for the same purpose. Not sure what I'm going to do. I have a think. No, let me grab my soft pastels. Let's take away my pencil, move these out of the way. Let's get ourselves organised, move this across. And these are my Mungyo Pastels, trusty pastels that work so well. There we go. I've had these for so long. I know some people like the sort of Faber Castell, and they're the same colours as the pencils apparently, which does sound good, but I've always, just not my water bottle, I've always got on very well with these, so suits me. Now I have to decide what I'm doing with the background. I haven't even planned it. I think I'm going to start with some patches of blue, and then I might put some patches of grey, so we got a sort of blue-grey cloud look going on. So I'm going to use this blue here. You can see how my blues are getting so thin they're breaking, but this one is fairly intense blue. I'm going to start on the corner, and I'm going to use my ruler here and just put a patch here like that. Just fade it off, and then grab some more, put a little bit down here. Problem is going between these is that you might get it on the wood, but it's just one of those things really. It's quite tricky. Now this side I'm going to use my ruler again against here to put a bit there, like that. Get some more. Go at the top and put a little bit in there, and then some on the top. We've got quite a big patch here. I'll just pop some in, and a bit here. Now I'm going to get some grey. Some of our greys are a little bit pale. I think I'm going to use this end one, which is actually quite dark, because I want it to look like, you know, there's definitely some sort of grey cloud going on. So I'm going to put it in here. Now pick your grey carefully. I know this one works, because if you pick one that's brownish, your clouds might look like dirty smoke. That's not the effect that I want to go for. I just want it to look a little bit like it might rain, sort of thing. And I'm going to leave some of the sky white as well. It's not all going to have pastel on it. I'm going to just put a little bit of grey down there, a little bit in there. Now I've gone outside of my line there, but actually I'm going to get my eraser out in a minute and rub it, so it doesn't matter. So there is the sky. It's really quite simple. I'm thinking I'm actually going to get some white. I don't use my white pastel. Never used it before, and I'm going to just sort of mix it into the colours that I've done to try and blend them a bit. I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference. Never tried, as I say. Okay, I'm okay with that. I don't know if it made a difference or not, to be honest. Now I'm just going to erase my line, but first I'm going to put my pastels away so I don't knock them all over the floor. I've only done that twice. I don't want to do it again. Okay. Now I could have used my cloud stencil. I did get it out and think about it, but I decided that I wanted to do sort of patchy colour instead. Now I'm going to erase. I have my little Tombow Mono eraser, which I might use actually. I think we'll start here, just gently erasing that pencil. Now if you have gone out of the lines here, you need to erase that too. Now what I've noticed is as I erase this, I'll hold it closer, there's a lot of dirty dust here. So I've erased a line, now you can just see a white line. So I need to erase all the way along there. I'm going to get a slightly larger eraser. Which I have here. This is my Staedtler plastic, Mars plastic, and just, sorry, go along there. Ooh, it's making a nasty noise against the rings. I'm not going to get rid of the bits yet. It's easier for me to turn my book. I don't normally turn my book, I know, but I'm just erasing. Like that. And then, now I wouldn't ever recommend using a clicky mechanical pencil when you're trying to do lines that you want to erase. I know it gives a lovely sharp line, sorry, what, upside down? But I find that it's really hard to erase it because it pushes into the paper, into the tooth of the paper, and leaves an indentation, which is really difficult to erase. There we go. Now I can still see some of the pencil, so I'm going to go back and erase it where I can still see it. I don't want any of it remaining, and I press really lightly so that I could erase it. And oh, there's a little bit here of pastel. See, I didn't put pastel outside here, but the dust just goes everywhere, and my fingers probably spread it as well. There we go. Oh, sorry for the scratchy noises. There we go. So there it is done. I'm quite happy with that, with the fact that you can see it's kept within a border. It's not perfectly straight edge, but Johanna's doesn't have the bottom does actually, but Johanna's edge isn't perfectly straight here, so I didn't want mine to be perfectly straight, and because I've done that bit of erasing, it's a little bit ragged, and I think that looks more in keeping with the style of the picture. So there we are, done. Now you don't have to do the background if you don't want, you could just leave it white. I just felt like the water needed some. Another thing you could do, oh, dots on the water, I did speak about doing that. You could use your glitter pen. This is a number 700 Stardust glitter pen, or a white pen. I'm just seeing what I've got here. Got the one I want, yeah, a Jelly Roll 10, and add some dots along each arch to make it look a little bit more like foam. I decided not to do that. I'm actually really happy with how it looks, and I think if I fiddle with it I might just spoil it. Of course you can use your white pen for different highlights in different places as well, but I don't, to be honest. Oh, I've forgotten the flowers on the bush. How many of you noticed? Well done if you noticed. Let's just do that to sharpen my pencil. I'm going to use the salmon. Mine's called dark flesh for that, and just fill those in. I'm just going to block them in. I know it's the same colour actually as the wall, isn't it? Perhaps I should have used one of the rug colours, but I'm putting it down quite intensely so that it shows up a little more. There we are. I think I really have finished now. But thank you so much for sticking with me, watching the whole series. I hope that you have enjoyed it, even if you haven't coloured along. And yeah, have a super day and happy colouring.